Mr. Pop.
Welcome to Andy's Donuts, a podcast about everything, anything, and nothing in between. Oh wow, what an intro, man! That's amazing. Deedee Ash created that, man. It's just unbelievable, just incredible. Thank you, man. It's brilliant. Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode. Today we got a special guest here with us. His name is Deedee Ash. He's a musician. Welcome to our podcast, Deedee. How are you today?
Cool. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm really good. Thanks, man. You?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Happy to have you. Yeah, so tell us a bit about yourself, a bit about your background. Who are you? What are you doing on this planet?
It's fun. Just trying not to die, man. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm a frontman of this post-punk synthwave band called Preventer. I also play bass as well. Yeah, debut album out next year, hopefully. Yeah, we're just trying to get this all kicked off. We're just trying to get it all off the ground, you know. It's a bit of a lockdown thing. Just sort of talking over Messenger and stuff like that, trying to get live music back, you know. I miss it so much. This whole pandemic has just killed music, and we're just trying to get back to some sort of normality, you know.
So are you trying to have like a proper band with actual musicians in it, not a one man show?
Yeah, so it started off like that. It started off with just me recording all the instruments, and you know, I just really wanted to get back on stage and just get that vibe back. So we've got a guitarist and we've got a keyboardist, and so there's three of us now. It's not just me on my own. And yeah, hopefully soon we'll be back just rocking out and just having a blast, you know.
That's brilliant. I know you've got quite the material already, so that wouldn't be a problem for you as long as you can manage to get the band together.
Yeah, I mean, when I was just sat in my room, not being able to go anywhere, not being able to play gigs, watch gigs, all that, I've just been basically sat on my own and I've just written a ton of stuff. You know, there's 3-4 albums worth of music that I can just take out on the road, but it's just going to be so much fun to get those musicians back together and just be able to bring it to people, you know.
That's just amazing. Where did you get all that inspiration, man?
um it comes from being quite a miserable person, I suppose. You know, all great art is made from suffering. That's what they say, isn't it? Like, you know, it's been such a difficult time for so many people, you know, the last 2 years. And I just think we've had to spend a lot of time with ourselves, and it's been a real tricky thing for a lot of people. Like, it's not something you normally have to do, is it? You don't have to listen to your own thoughts. You don't have to sort of have those conversations with your own mind. And I think we've all had to discover parts of ourselves that we don't necessarily like, parts that we've maybe had to just keep quiet, you know? And I've kind of tried to embrace that a little bit. And I mean, the last 2 years for me as a sort of musician have been probably the most creative of my entire life. I mean, I'm 34 now. Kind of lost track of years there a minute. So yeah, I'm 34 now, and like I've been doing this my entire life, but the last 2 years have been the most creative I've ever been. Like, because I've had nothing else to do, and I've kind of made a promise to myself that when we were allowed to, I would bring this out and make a proper go of it. And you know, I've got so much in my head right now that for better or for worse, that I just want to put onto tape and just, make a real proper go of it and bring live music back.
That's brilliant. Get it all out. It's better to be out than inside, I suppose. What about these albums that you already wrote? The music, and are they connected? Do they have a story behind them, or is just like random thoughts turn into different compositions?
There's definitely themes on the album, yeah. I wouldn't say it's like a concept album or anything like that, but there's certainly messages behind the songs. There's certain songs about like sort of depression. There's songs about politics, about isolation. There's songs about there's lots of different things. I just thought like I've got these ideas of all these elaborate things I want to do in the future, but I thought for the first, the debut album, I would just like to put together a bunch of strong, catchy songs that also every single one of them has like a different message. I think I like to think that it'll just encourage people and just realize that we're not isolated and we're not all alone. Everybody's going through the same thing, and we can sort of reunite through music and all that sort of stuff, when we're allowed to.
That's great. Yeah, that's a good thought. Together in isolation. That sounds good. Any happy songs
on this album?
On any albums?
There is actually, yeah, no, there is a song. It's a song about an old friend of mine who it's this girl I used to know who got married really young to this guy who she didn't really like because she was kind of pressured into it. But like I knew and she kind of knew, but very early on into her marriage, she discovered that she was actually gay. But she was pressured into, marrying well for money and all that sort of status and all that sort of stuff. But she ended up marrying this guy she didn't love, she wasn't attracted to. And she kind of threw all that away for her own personal happiness, She was she basically found out, well, I think she kind of knew, but like we kind of encouraged her to come out of the closet, if you like. And but long story short, she ended up getting divorced with this guy, and she's now in a very, very happy relationship with this other woman.
That's a great story. What's the name of the song?
The song is called Touch. It's about, well, without trying to get too graphic, I know this is like a family show, right? But every time, when she told me this story once in confidentiality, but I wrote it into a song anyway because I'm punk and I do what I want, etc. But she said every time she was having quote unquote relations with her husband, she was thinking about this girl that she really liked, and that's what the song's about basically.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You said you've been doing this for a while. So have you been singing with other people or in other bands or all by yourself?
I've been a solo musician for a very long time, since I was in school, basically. I've been recording music since I was about 15-ish. It's mostly been like really quite strange metal and noisy stuff that was never going to be popular or anything like that. But yeah, I think the direction I'm taking now is a lot more mainstream than I've been used to in the past. I've been in cover bands and stuff like that as well, and that's kind of where I discovered my love for playing live. Like, there's nothing like being on stage, it's the best feeling when it's just a crowded pub or a venue or whatever, and everyone in the crowd are just having a great time, and you're on stage and you're just doing your thing, and it's just the best thing, And I just want to take my own music to that level, I don't want to be in a cover band anymore. I've done that, and it's that's finished. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to bring my own brand of music to the world and make a proper serious go of it.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds like a good plan. So as soon as this pandemic thing ends and the lockdowns and stuff, will you be a full-time musician?
No, unfortunately not yet. That's the dream, obviously. Like, my first primary goal is to make enough money from this to just say to my boss, you know what, screw you, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going on tour, you know. I don't want to work anymore. I don't enjoy it. Just to sort of break the fourth wall a little bit. I work in pharmacy as I'm a pharmacy technician for like a quote unquote career. I wouldn't say it's a career because I don't really give a shit about it, but you can believe that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't really care about my career. You know, I don't want to do it anymore. It bores the hell out of me. It makes me very ill, and I'm not interested in it anymore. I used to be. I used to love what I do for a living. You know, I used to really enjoy going to work and helping people, but
Do you think it's a waste of time going to work instead of creating some more music or doing something else more interesting?
you know, I think that is a very valid point. Yeah, it's every day when I'm at work, I'm thinking I should be doing something else, and that's not a healthy way to live, you know? Like I've always got scraps of paper in my pocket and stuff. Like if I start singing myself a melody or some lyrics or whatever, I just write it down. And like my head is always somewhere else when I'm at work. I think my colleagues think I'm quite strange. Like I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not
But
I'm not in the moment, you know, when I'm at work. I'm not fully concentrating. I'm not.
yeah, but on the other hand, there is this idea that if you will have all the time in the world, you just waste it, and instead of so
You
basically,
absolutely do.
if you wouldn't be at work, having the pressure of time, and you want to do so many things and you don't have the time to do them, you write on your piece of paper, you
Hmm.
have all these ideas and you're creative. I mean, maybe you interact with your colleagues, maybe you go on a train or in traffic or somehow, and you kickstart all these ideas and you make all these connections, and maybe that's helpful, rather than having all day long for yourself sitting at home, maybe on a couch. Maybe you'll say, oh, I can't be bothered, I've got tomorrow as well, so I'll do it tomorrow. And it's this
Hmm.
thing. Do you think that could be like a good thing or a bad thing?
You know what? Honestly, I never actually considered that, but I think you might be right. Because you know, I recently started taking the train to work rather than driving, and you know that 45 minutes on the train to work, and then again from work, you know, I'm really productive. You know, I take my computer, I do editing, I do my social media stuff, and I
Yeah.
cram a load of stuff into my lunch break. I think you might be right, actually. You know, when you've got that time pressure, when you think, right, I've got one day off this weekend because I'm working 6 days this week, and you just think, right, you build yourself up to that Sunday or, you know, that lunch break or whatever, and you think, right, I've got to get X amount of work into this time. I'm going to really buckle down and do it. But yeah, I think you might be right. Like if I was off every single day of the week, I probably would be quite lazy, honestly. I think, well, I'll do it tomorrow, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. It's very true.
Right. So what about what did you do? What did you study before you got into pharmacy? What did you do before that?
Oh gosh. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm what 34 now, so I think I've been out of formal education for only like well, not even 2 years, 1 year maybe. Yeah, like I was up until 18 months ago, I was doing a physics degree in university.
Wow, a scientist as well as a musician. That's a good combination.
Well, not really. I didn't actually pass. I didn't actually pass.
It doesn't matter.
um,
You just had the knowledge and
from age what, like 11, 12, whatever, you know, when you start secondary school kind of thing, you ask that question like, what do you want to be when you grow up, you know? And I never really had an answer for that. I still don't really. Like I'm 34 and I still don't really have an answer. I don't really understand the question, honestly. Yeah, I mean, first off, I haven't really grown up yet. So I got married earlier this year, like but I'm still a teenager in many ways. But like I never really got that sort of, how do you describe it? Like, you know, there's so much pressure on like kids and young adults to like find their path in life, you know?
yeah.
It's like you have to sort of know in your head, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I just want to be me, really. I don't want to be anything other than that. Some days I don't even want to be me, you know. I don't want to
Yeah.
be. I don't want to be defined by what I do for a living. I never really got that point of view, you know. I mean, I went to a posh school. You know, I had to take an exam to get into the school. It's like the top 10% or whatever. But and all the way through my school life, it had this hammered into you, like, you have to do well, you have to pass all your exams, and you have to go to university and get a really good degree, and you have to, else you're never going to be a success. If you mess about at school, we'll send you to the comprehensive with the stupid children. Those weren't the exact words, but that's basically the idea, right? It's like, you know, if you don't
Yeah.
study hard and you don't focus and you don't do all the good things and the right things, we'll send you to the stupid school and you'll be a failure. And that's kind of stuck with me up until literally 18 months ago when I failed my exams again at university, and I realized, look, this doesn't even matter to me. The reason I'm failing isn't because I'm stupid, it's because I don't care about this. The only thing I've ever been good at and the only thing I've ever cared about is music. That's all I've ever really cared about, you know?
Have you
And I
ever
just,
thought of taking it to the next level, going to do some studies or things like that? Have you studied music in school or?
well, I've never had formal teaching as such, no, but I kind of think that kind of goes against my ideology almost, you know? It's like, I don't want it to be formal. I want it to be from within, you know? I don't want somebody in
To tell
a,
what music is. You just
yeah, I don't want somebody in a flat cap and a fancy jacket tell me what I should be playing and what I shouldn't be playing on the keyboard or whatever, or guitar. I just want to just do what feels good, you know?
yeah, true. Totally understand where you're coming from.
You know, with art, there's not rules or anything. There's not, you can do this, you can't do that. It's like, you do what you want. That's what art is, you know?
Yeah, well, I did graphic design, and they told us that in order to break the rules, you need to know the rules. So that was
Yeah.
the excuse for us to learn about graphic design, but it's just stupid. But anyway,
I think that's a bunch of people trying to justify their paycheck, isn't it, really?
yeah,
Basically, they're not really teaching you anything.
exactly, yeah. That's true. What was your lowest point in your life, if you ever had one?
Oh gosh. It's a very specific weekend, actually. You know, I think about it probably at least once a week. Um, I mean, it's basically right at the start of what I would call my adulthood, if you like 19, 20 years old. I don't know, something like that. So it was a very early on a Saturday morning. My stepbrother rang me quite early, like about 7 a.m. or something. I think I hadn't even gone to bed yet. He rang me telling me that my best friend from school had killed himself. Sorry to get really dark on you, but yeah, he'd hanged himself because he'd seen his girlfriend at the time making out with some other guy in a club, right? It was the weekend that I was due to go back to university to meet up with the girl I was, you know, I was dating at the time as well. We were kind of living together as well. That day, the very same day that I'd been told that my best friend had killed himself, without even telling me, by the way, he didn't try and contact me or anything like that. But that's a very dark area that I don't really like to get into too much. The very same day, the very same day I was due to go back to university to like start term again the following Monday. And I got back in, moved into my new flat with my current girlfriend, and she told me that over the summer she had actually cheated on me. So yeah, like the two of us we were, you know, best friends all the way through school. He'd killed himself, and my girlfriend had cheated on me, and I found all this out in the same in the same weekend.
Wow.
So that was a pretty dark 48 hours, you know. So if
Yeah.
if anybody ever says to you that it's not to get too gender specific, but if anyone ever tells you that it's the men that are scumbags, I can kind of give you an alternative story to that. Basically, all people suck.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're still around. So
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think I cared about my girlfriend as much as my friend cared about his. Like I wouldn't kill myself over that, but it would just piss me off more than anything. But like my mind was very firmly on my friend. I didn't really care about
yeah,
being cheated on myself. It was more the loss of my best friend that stressed me that week, you know.
yeah. That's really bad.
But I think it made me, I sort of think my entire world kind of fell apart that weekend, but it was a very plastic world, if that makes sense. Like, it was the vestiges of my childhood sort of died. It was my best friend from school. It was my girlfriend from school, and they both kind of left me in that weekend.
Oh,
So I kind of became an adult and started a completely new life. I dropped out of university the next day and just completely moved on.
yeah. What about something on a more optimistic side? Anything that really changed your life for the better?
I mean, like I say, I got married earlier this year, so I'm supposed I'm obliged to say that, right?
Yeah, but we exclude that because obviously when you get married, have a child, things like that, always a happy thing, always changing your life.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But something else, like I was more interested in a person that's not related to you or not close friend or something like that, like
Mhm.
a total stranger that maybe influenced you in some way or give you some advice or did something for you that maybe changed your perspective on life for the better.
Hmm. Well, I tell you, I've been working with this management company, right, for my music, and they're saying the best way to sort of get ahead in the music, they've encouraged me to really sort of gather some musicians together and make my solo project into a proper band. Um, I think I've been quite successful so far doing that. But last weekend I met up with this guitarist, with potential guitarist, and I was petrified of going to meet a stranger. Like it's something I've never been very good at. Is talking to people that I don't know. It's not my comfort zone at all. But yeah, I took the train to meet this guy, and within 30 seconds of meeting him, it was like we'd known each other our entire lives. We sometimes you just click with people straight away, and I spent an entire evening with this guy, and it's like we were best friends. It was amazing. I've never experienced that before. But he's given me so many. He's basically an expert in the sort of music that we want to do. He's been listening to it forever, whereas I'm quite new to it. And he's given me so many albums and recommendations, and it's been, I've spent the last 7 days from this point, like absorbing all of this music that he's recommended to me, and I think it's just completely opened my eyes to actually this isn't just this weird little niche genre that no one knows about. Actually, it's a really big thing, and it's really encouraged me to think actually there's a hell of a lot of potential in this band that I'm trying to put together. That there's definitely an audience for it, and it's got so much potential. It's just made me so much more excited, and it feels a hell of a lot more real to having met up with this guy, and we've been discussing stuff all week about how we want the live setup to be, and it's really invigorating, I would say.
That's just great. Other than music, do you have any other hobbies or any other things you might do in your spare time, or you don't have any spare time at all these days?
Um, well, I mean, I'm a chronic insomniac, so I have quite a lot of spare time. The time when you're supposed to be asleep. Yeah, I love creative writing. Absolutely love it. I'm not great at it. I'm trying to write a horror series. It's sort of like a horror slash sci-fi kind of. It's similar to the theme of the music, I guess, the Preventer stuff. It's not published yet. It probably never will be.
You never
But
know.
yeah, I love doing it. It's catharsis, you know. I've got all these weird dreams in my head and stuff. I just want to get on paper. I've got this idea for a 5-part short story series. 2 parts of which are finished, but I've got the entire series planned out. I might publish it. I might attempt to publish it. I don't know if anybody would be interested, but really it's just an exercise, you know. It's like a release. I just want to just get it out, you know. I've been writing a lot of poetry, they're sort of like song lyrics, I suppose. Song lyrics that don't fit songs, if that makes sense. I'm always just writing stuff, you know. I don't really want to call it a problem because it's not a problem. It's great, but like I don't know how to sit still. It's not like attention deficit disorder or anything like that, but I'm very aware of my own mortality, you know. I don't want to run out of time.
You don't want to waste time. Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't want
Feel the same. Yeah.
I don't know how to come home from work and sit on the sofa and watch TV. I can't do that. I can count on one hand the movies or TV shows I've watched in the last year, and I would have fingers left. I can't do that. It's not that I think TV or movies are bad, because the people behind them, they're very creative people, and they put a lot of work and time into their show, and they entertain a lot of people. I'm not discrediting movies or TV or anything. I think it's a fantastic art form. It's just I can't be in that audience. I can't sit and do nothing and watch something. 10, 15 minutes into it, I get that little itch, that little tick at the back of my head, thinking I should be doing something else right now. You know, I've got all this pent up weirdness in me, and I need to get it out. I need to record it, and I need to write it down. And it really stresses my wife out. I don't know how she puts up with me, honestly, because I can't just sit there. She knows if I'm just watching something, I start like twitching like this. I like my legs start shaking, like
Yeah.
And she goes to me, just take yourself away, go play guitar or something, go figure it out. And then I come back down, and it's like, yeah, okay, I've got it out now. But I'm so full of like nervous energy that I don't want to, without trying to get too morbid. And I know I've gone off on a massive tangent here, as I always do, because I get distracted easily, but I don't want to run out of time, I don't want to die before I've got all this out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, get it. Totally get you, man. Well, talking about TV and TV shows and stuff like that, have you ever thought of using your voice for some voiceovers or things like that, voice acting?
Voice acting. Well, I have. I've recorded some of my short stories, but only for personal sort of. As more of an experiment than anything. I've never submitted it to anybody, but I don't know. Do you think somebody would want to listen to that? Do you think that's an avenue I could explore?
Definitely, yeah. I think you have a good voice for doing some voiceover or something more commercially viable,
Okay, yeah.
because there's a need for it, and there's money in it, and I think you can use your voice. It's free, so it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, it costs you your voice, because if you're talking more than 1 hour, then you might lose it for the day.
Well, no, I know how to. Honey and lemon is a vocalist's best friend.
Yeah.
I happily drink that all day, but yeah, like, oh gosh, that would be a dream job, wouldn't it? Like, you just sat in a room all day, just reading some story out for the benefit of maybe 10 people who'd listen to it. Gosh,
You
if I
never
could
know.
If I
You
could
never.
get paid for that, if I could get paid for reading novels out, I would never need to leave I'd never need to leave my studio. I just live here. This would be
Yeah,
amazing. I would love to do that.
yeah, that's great. Well, oh, you can create some other stuff. You can do like intros and jingles and all sorts of commercially viable music products.
Yeah,
Other than
yeah. It feels a little bit sort of Alan Partridge, but yeah, if the whole if the whole post-punk thing doesn't work out, then yeah, maybe that's an option. Yeah.
well, you don't have to rule one out. You could do them both. I mean, it's not like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you guys for listening. This was a very good conversation. It was brilliant. Nice guy. And I think we're gonna have another episode. So see you next week. Bye.